I made over $7.3 million selling digital products, and I started with no audience, no tech skills, and very little money. So in this video, I'll show you what I think is the best way to get started with digital products if you are a complete beginner. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean, and I've been selling digital products for many years now. I sold everything from low ticket to mid ticket to even high ticket all online. And every day I wake up to thousands of dollars in sales. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this to show that it's possible because I've done it myself starting from zero. So let's get into exactly how you can get started with this. First, I want to quickly touch on why selling digital products is the best business for beginners. Digital products compared to selling physical products or a service, it's, in my opinion, a lot easier and a lot simpler, especially for beginners, right? Because you don't have to deal with inventory, shipping, or manufacturing, unlike if you're selling a physical product, because this is all digital. Like, the inventory doesn't exist. You don't need to do shipping, or you don't need to do manufacturing. If you're selling low ticket, you don't have to deal with sales calls, right? With digital products, you don't have to deal with annoying clients always complaining. Like if you're providing a service, digital products has high profit margins compared to a physical product because you don't have to do all those inventory, shipping, manufacturing. So all the fees that usually goes there, you keep it as profit. And you can start with little to no money because you can create these digital products very cheaply, or using AI nowadays. And because everything is digital, you can work from anywhere with just a laptop and a Wi-Fi. So you get way more freedom doing a digital product-based business. So most people will tell you that you need these three things when starting a digital product-based business. Number one, you have to create a product. Number two, you have to build a website to sell the product. And number three, you have to go get customers or bring customers to the website so that they can go and buy the product from the website. Now, this method works, but it's a lot more work than how I do it, right? How I made my money. So I'll show you what I think is a way better and way easier way. But before I do so, I want to touch on the question that I get often, which is, what is the best digital product to sell? So here are the top digital products. We got ebooks, online courses, templates and printables, and we're talking planners, worksheets, business templates and those kind of things. Stock assets, so these are, stock photos, stock videos, design elements, musics that you take or you create, and you can license it out to these stock footage websites. And the last one is membership sites and digital communities. So these are the most popular digital products that people do sell. But out of these 5 options, what is the best one? Because although these products can be very profitable, some of these are definitely not suited for beginners. Like selling online courses, membership sites, those are definitely profitable, but it's a lot harder for beginners to get started with it. There's a lot more moving parts, there's a lot more fulfillment. So I don't think if you're just getting started trying to make money online with digital products, this is something you should get started with. So if it's not those, what is the best one in my opinion? Well, that is selling ebooks, because ebooks has the lowest barrier of entry. You can create these simple ebooks for free using tools like Google Docs or Canva if you want to. You don't need a special equipment, you don't need no expensive software or even technical skills, because yes, you do have to use technology, right? Your laptop, but these are very simple skills that you can learn. Like everything, you can just practice a little bit and get good at it. Also, you can use AI and Ghostwriters to help you create these content. Ebooks are also evergreen and can be passive. So a good ebook can sell for years without much updates required. And if you sell on platforms like Amazon, which we will talk about in this video, the Amazon algorithm will push the product, which means you can get passive sales without doing any promotions just by being on Amazon, which is huge. And that's exactly what you want if you want freedom and, passive income, right? That takes us to this next point, which is that you can tap into built-in buyer traffic. So if you take this ebook and sell it on sites like Amazon, there are millions of people already searching for books on Amazon, right? So you don't need to spend months building a personal audience first, like all these other YouTube videos on selling digital products will tell you to do. Yes, it's important long term, but in the short term, if you want to make money quick, you want to leverage existing traffic like being on Amazon. So this is way better than selling on your own site or marketplaces with little organic traffic. Another reason why I love ebooks is the fact that you can create 7+ income streams from the one book. So you can literally take this ebook that you just wrote or you just created, right? And you can turn it into a paperback book using a print-on-demand model. And that's another source of income. You can do hardcover book. You can turn it into an audiobook, another source of income. You can translate the book into different languages, another multiple source of income for every single language you translate to, right? You can bundle the book and create a compilation book. And you can do so much more, which I'm going to show you later in this video too. And each format is another revenue stream without the extra research or without the extra content creation, because you already created the book. You're just transforming it into additional formats. And I've been doing online business for a very long time, and I don't know any other business where you can take one product that you created and turn it into 7+ income streams. Like, this is pretty crazy if I say so myself. The last reason why selling ebooks is my favorite is because you can sell your entire book portfolio or your business, right? So a ebook catalog is a sellable business asset. Just like real estate rental income, you can make rental checks every single month if you want to keep the property, but if you want to sell it for a big exit, you can do it too with real estate. It's the exact same thing here. I actually sold my first book catalog for $820,000. And I'm not lying about this. So I've actually documented my entire journey of building this ebook publishing business. It's called the KDP Income Reports playlist. If you guys want to check it out, I've documented every single month on how much I made, this and that. It's in my YouTube channel, so you can literally look up this playlist. This is also a screenshot of the bill of sale selling my account for $820,000. That's my name. This is sensitive buyer information, so I got to blur out this section. But the point is, it's possible because not only have I done it myself, a lot of my students are doing it. So it is definitely possible if you choose to do so. So hopefully at this point you understand why ebooks are the best digital products to sell. Again, I made over $7.3 million selling digital products, not just ebooks. I've sold other products as well. But just from this book publishing business, I've made over $1.7 million. And this is exactly how I started. I went from making nothing online, failing in every single business that I've tried, to making my first dollar online publishing ebooks, right? And I scaled that to multiple 6 figures a year, eventually sold it. I became a self-made millionaire from doing this business, not from teaching it. So I really believe this is the best business for beginners. But now that we got that out of the way, let me show you exactly how you can get started. So this is step by step exactly how to create your ebook. Step 1 is we have to start with topic research. So we never want to skip this step, right? You want to make sure your topic is profitable before making it. This is where a lot of people mess up, is they write a book on whatever topic that they think is cool without checking if people even want to buy a book on that topic. And because they don't check, they waste so much time making the book, and they're like, why aren't people buying my book? So we definitely don't want to skip this. Now, the big thing to understand is don't do your topic research anywhere else besides Amazon. Like, I noticed a lot of other people on YouTube talk about, oh, do your research on YouTube or do your research on Google and this and that. And, yes, it can help, but you got to understand that more than 74% of all book sales in the US comes from Amazon. Like, most people buy books on Amazon. So if you're checking if the topic is profitable or not, you should be checking on Amazon because that's where most of the sales are happening. So this is what you got to do. Okay, so go to Amazon, change this to books over here, and type in whatever topic that you want to check. So if you want to create a book on, let's say, ketogenic diet, you can put ketogenic diet here. If you want to, create stories for kids, you can put stories for kids. Whatever topic that you come up with, right? Like, let's say how to play basketball, you can put how to play basketball here. So in my case, I always use this as an example, but I'll put decluttering as a topic. And we get to the search results here, and we have all these books on decluttering that pops up on page 1. Now, I have a couple things that you're not seeing here because I got some tools, right, that tells me more information here. Now, what I want you to do is go to the Google Chrome store and look up for this tool. It's called DS Amazon Quick View. Okay, just Google it. This is a completely free plugin, and by getting it, you can get this number right here. This is from DS Amazon Quick View. So it says number 65 in the Audible store. What does this mean? Well, that means this book is the 65th best-selling book in the entire Audible store. So Amazon's cool because Amazon literally tells you how well the book is selling compared to other books. Okay, so this book over here is 2,248 in the entire Audible store. So it's selling a little less than this one, right? The lower the better in this case, because if it says number 1 here, it's the number 1 best-selling book in the entire bookstore. So this is called the bestsellers rank. And again, Amazon gives us this number right on the website. Now, I have another tool called BookBeam. This is a paid tool, so you don't have to get it. But BookBeam also calculates how much the book is making in royalties. So this one book is doing over $6,000 per day in royalties. Pretty crazy, right? And this book is doing $253 per day. So this one book is doing close to 10K, just from the audiobook. This is $55 per day. This book is doing $256 per day. So a lot of books on page 1 on the topic of decluttering is very profitable. But what you want to do here is you want to find books on page 1 that has a below 80,000 BSR. Now, the reason why I say below 80,000 is because if it's around 80,000 BSR, then you can assume that the book is doing around $500 per month in revenue. And $500 per month is a pretty good benchmark to aim. So it's not a hard rule, but aiming below 80,000 is good. So in this case, it's below 80,000, so it's doing more than $500 per month. Because if it's doing $26 a day, that is close to $900 a month, right? And that's just from the paperback, not even counting the other formats. So it's probably doing over $1,000 per month here. But that is how you look at it, is you want to search for a topic and then you want to find books on page 1 that are below 80,000 BSR. And if you can find those books that are below 80,000, then that tells you that, all right, books on these topics are already selling, already making money. So if I make something similar to this, then we know that it's most likely going to sell too. That's the whole thought process here. So now that you understand that, you can go and start checking for whatever topic that you have in your mind. But if you need more topic ideas, you can literally go to ChatGPT. You know, this is just one way of doing so, but you can just ask it to give you more ideas, right? So I just asked here, give me 50 ebook ideas I can write about, and we have 50 ideas that are pretty good. So we got 30 days self-discipline challenge. So you can look up self-discipline, science of habit formation, overcoming procrastination. We got, you know, business categories over here like passive income streams for beginners. I can just go here and look up passive income streams, right? And see if books on the topic is selling. Minimalism is another one. Mindfulness. We got tech and AI and productivity over here. Like how to use ChatGPT could be a good topic. And a couple more over here. Even the decluttering topic shows up here, right? So that's one idea, which we already checked. So we have a ton of ideas here, but let me show you one more example here. So I literally took home workouts with no equipment, right? A topic that I got from ChatGPT, paste it into Amazon, and we have a book on page 1 that is below 80,000, and BookBeam confirms that it's doing more than $500 per month. It's doing pretty good money, right? $23 a day. So that is how you do topic research. And now that we confirm that our topic is profitable, then we can go and start creating the book. Okay, so never skip that first step. But the next step here is to create a book outline before actually writing the book. So what is a book outline? Well, a book outline helps with organizing your ideas. It's essentially a skeleton of your book, right? If you don't have this, then you are going to start writing without a clear direction. Like you don't even know where you're starting, what you should be including. You're just writing with the flow, and that is not good. A good book outline is like a map. You know exactly what to include in chapter 1, you know exactly what to include in chapter 2, and so on. So you definitely want this. It's going to make your writing process a lot easier later on. So what makes a good book outline? Well, first thing you have to understand is that people buy books to solve a problem. No one's just buying books for no absolute reason, right? So if people buy a fiction book, they're bored, so they want entertainment, and they're seeking entertainment in the form of a book. But when they buy non-fiction book, it's because they got a problem in their life. If they buy a book on decluttering, it's probably because they want to learn decluttering tips because their home is a mess and they're stressed out, right? So there's an underlying problem that they're trying to solve through what they learn inside that non-fiction book that they're buying. So when it comes to creating a good book outline for non-fiction books, you want to imagine taking the reader from point A to point B. Point A is they're currently struggling with the problem. Point B, they've overcome the problem. So what are the 4 to 8 steps the reader should take to get from point A to point B? Those are your chapters. As an example, if you got a weight loss book, right? People buy a weight loss book most likely because they're overweight. Like a skinny person's not gonna buy a weight loss book, like most likely, right? So if point A is that they're struggling with the weight problem and point B is, you know, they've successfully lost weight, what are the 4 to 8 steps between point A to point B? Most likely it's going to be, you know, set a goal, start working out, right? Like the workout plans, create a diet plan, stick into the diet, and some additional strategies on preventing rebounds. So those could be your steps, and those are exactly going to be your chapters. So to make this very easy for you guys, I've created a ChatGPT prompt that you can copy. So you can pause this video, take notes on this prompt right here. But this is how it goes, okay? So I'm writing a book on decluttering, and I need your help in creating a detailed book outline. The goal of this book is to take the reader from point A, and this section, you have to fill it in because I don't know your topic, okay? So in my case, with the decluttering topic, point A is struggling with stress and unproductivity due to the clutter in their home. To point B, in my case, again, you have to fill this out for yourself, but mine is feeling stress-free and productive as they know the decluttering strategies. So that's point B. What are the 6 steps the reader should take from point A to point B? Please create a chapter for each step and add subsections for each chapter. So this is what I got from AI. So step number 1, get clear on the why. Chapter title, the real cost of clutter, and we have some subsections here. Chapter 2 is shifting your mindset, okay? Chapter 3, create a strategic plan. Chapter 4, now we're going into the actual strategy. We're starting small and winning big, right? And chapter 5, tackling the hard stuff. we are going to deal with how to let go of sentimental and emotional clutter. Chapter 6, building habits to stay clutter-free for life. So I would say that's pretty good, taking people from point A to point B. But one thing is, don't just rely on AI 100%. If you think, you should add something, you should replace something, you should do that, because what you get from AI is just ideas. So you can choose to use it or not. That is completely up to you. Now, once you're done with the book outline, it's time to start writing the actual book. So you want to fill out chapter by chapter, and you can compile this in Google Doc or Word Doc, right? It's up to you. Again, you can use AI for assistance, but not complete replacement, right? We're not just, whipping up crappy AI books, but we can work with AI, right? Go back and forth and, use it as an assistant. It's going to help you a lot in terms of writing, but definitely try and mix in your personal stories, your experience, tips and tricks that you personally have, if you do have them, because that'll make the book even better. But now that we have the outline, the writing is a lot easier, don't you think? Like, we have exactly what to include in chapter 4. Like, we know what we should cover, right? Momentum over perfection. And we even have the subsections, like what to include in that chapter, like specifically. So we have the 10-minute rule. We can talk about high impact areas, like where to declutter first. So AI is amazing in terms of getting, a lot of ideas. And this is exactly why we want to create an outline first before we actually start writing, because if not, you're not going to know what to cover and you're going to be all over the place. Okay, so anyways, I just asked AI to write me all of chapter 1, and we have the entire chapter 1 here. Now, again, don't just copy paste, but take this as your first draft, right? And then from here, you can change it up. You can add your stories, you can add different tips and tricks, and then you can basically go from there. And once you're done with that, then you can move on to the next chapter. So I said to write me chapter 2, got the same output, right? Or basically chapter 2 written, so that now I can go and tweak this to make it my content, make it my book. And you want to repeat this process until the end. So if you're wondering, how long should the book be? Because if you hear someone tell you, you have to write a book, you instantly think, oh my God, that's so much work, right? Because you initially think you have to go and write a 200-page plus book when you're not even a writer, But the reality is that you don't have to do so, okay? So in terms of how long should a book be, this is what I recommend. So right now, I normally create a 100 to 200 page book because I have experience. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, right? So I can go a little longer. But for absolute beginner, I get that that's kind of a lot. So if that's the case, if this is your first book, you're just getting started, you just want to get started with something quick, then I recommend around 30 to 50 pages. And if you think that is too short, yes, it's a little short, but you got to understand that people buy books to solve a problem. The value doesn't come from just having more pages, right? The value comes from solving the problem, not having a ton of pages. Like, if you buy a book on decluttering because you want to solve the decluttering problem that you have, would you rather have the problem solved by the author giving you the solution, the techniques and strategies required to solve the problem you got in 30 pages? Or 500 pages? Like, which is better for you? Do you want to get to the point and read a 30-page book and know exactly what to do to solve your clutter problem? Or would you rather spend way longer sorting through 500 pages, most likely like 80% of that is going to be fluff anyways, just to solve the same problem? Right? Do you think people will be happier because they got more pages? Probably not. And of course, in this case, the middle ground is best. That's why I do 100 to 200 pages, which I think is the sweet spot. But again, if you're just getting started, don't worry about the book being short. 30 to 50 pages is okay. And at the same time, if you think the book is too short and if you're not confident about it, you just sell it for cheap, right? Like, I feel like a 30-page book that goes straight to the point, solves the problem, that people are looking for, is fine to sell for $3 to $5. Like, I think that's a pretty fair price. Like, if you personally have some sort of problem in your life right now, would you pay $3 to $5 to solve that if you know you can get the solution? I think a lot of people would be okay just like dropping a couple bucks to get their problem solved. So that's my stance in terms of how I approach this. But if you don't want to write the book yourself, right? I just showed you how to write the book yourself. But if you don't want to, you can actually hire ghostwriters to do the work for you. And this is an extremely common practice in the publishing space. Like, most celebrities who have a book about themselves or whatever, they use ghostwriters. So using a ghostwriter doesn't automatically make the book bad. In fact, if you're not a writer, then it's probably better to just hire a ghostwriter because they will do a better job, but it'll cost money, right? So ghostwriters will save time for you, but it's going to cost money. So if you rather write the book yourself, it's going to cost more time, but you will save money, then that is okay too. So if you want a step-by-step tutorial on the best ghostwriting company, how to use ghostwriters to create a book, then I have a separate video tutorial on exactly how to do that. I'll leave a link in the description below. So once your book is written, the next thing is to create the book title. So you can use ChatGPT once again to generate title ideas. Biggest thing to understand is you want to choose titles that are easy to understand, clearly explain the value or the transformation the reader will get. So clearly explain how the book will solve the problem that the reader has, okay? And you want to avoid being too fancy. Like a lot of people are way too fancy, way too cute with their book title. So don't do that. I'm going to show you some examples here. And if you can include specific numbers, that also helps, makes the title sound nice. It's optional, but it does help. As an example, putting something like 7 steps to an organized home. So once again, I created a ChatGPT prompt. You can use it, okay? So you can just pause the video and take notes on this. But I just asked it to give me 10 title ideas. Good book title consists of these elements. Easy to understand, clearly explains the value in the transformation, avoids being too fancy, and includes specific numbers if applicable, right? So here are 10 clear benefit-driven book titles we got over here. We got 6 steps to a clutter-free life, from overwhelmed to organized, decluttering made simple. That's a good one. The 30-day declutter plan, declutter your home, declutter your life. That is a good one as well. Tidy home, peaceful mind, clutter cure, and a lot more. And if you want more ideas, just ask it to give you more ideas. And you obviously can tweak it from here. You don't have to just copy the title exactly, but this is a very good starting point. I personally think this is nice. Declutter your home, declutter your life, a simple guide to getting unstuck. So I'll probably go with this one. Now, I want to show you some bad title examples. Okay, these are some bad title examples that a lot of beginners make, and it just completely kills their sales. Okay, so the first mistake people make is that they make their titles way too vague. Like, again, you don't want to be fancy, you don't want to be cute. Okay, you want to be very clear on what the book is about. So when you title the book like The Stillness Within, what does that even mean? The stillness within, right? Or elevate your space. What? What is elevate your space? It's too vague. Same as this one here. 2 fancy examples, right? The minimalist metamorphosis. Why? Like, why don't you just say decluttering or how to declutter your home, you know? Decluttering tips and strategies, right? So it's just, again, too fancy. Echoes of order, that makes no sense as well. Another mistake is you don't show the transformation, like decluttering explain. No one wants to be explained anything. They want to know, how can this book help me declutter better? So they don't want just an explanation, they want a transformation. Same as this one, on the art of tidying spaces. Like, it doesn't tell me anything about how this book is going to help me. Another example of being clever. Tidy or die trying. Too much. This is too much. Like, people try to be so funny, cute, this and that in the book title. And again, with nonfiction books, being clear, being straightforward is way better. Another example, Zen and the Junk Drawer. Same thing. Too clever, too fancy. So it's not good. And these are some couple more examples here. But the point is, with nonfiction book titles, tell me exactly what I'm going to get, right? Tell me exactly the problem that I'm going to solve. That's what you have to put in your book title. All right, so after the book title, the next step is to format the book. So if you're selling on your own website, you can format it however way you want because it's your own website. You can do whatever you want. But if you're selling on Amazon, which hopefully you understand the benefit of doing so, right? Why you should be on Amazon. Well, if you're selling there, then you have to follow Amazon's approved format. So I'm not going to get into it in this video because it's going to be too long, but I do have a step-by-step formatting tutorial. So again, I'll leave a link to this video in the description. You can go and watch it after this video and follow along and format your book. It's pretty simple once you learn the hang of it, and it's completely free. All right, after that, it's time to create your book cover. And when it comes to creating your book cover, there are 2 options. Number 1, you can do it yourself. Number 2, you can outsource. But in terms of the DIY option, you can use Canva templates. So you can go and edit Canva templates. There's a lot of book cover templates over there. And what you don't want to do there is to literally just use a Canva template, update the book title to your title, and that is it. Like, don't do that. Okay, a lot of people are doing that, which means a lot of people will have the same design as yours, and then Amazon don't like it because it's duplicate content. They think you're just like copying them. So start with the Canva template, but just tweak it a little bit, right? Make it unique. Which, if you want a step-by-step, more in-depth tutorial, then again, I have a separate video, so I'll leave a link in the description below. So super quick demonstration, literally just go to Canva, go to templates over here on the left, right? And look up book cover. And you have a ton of different designs that you can choose. And what I mean by don't just update the title is like a lot of people choose a book cover template and they just click on the title and they just go and update the title like this. And they're like, all right, cool, my book cover is done. Like, don't do that, okay? You want to edit a little more, okay? Change some elements, switch it out, you know, maybe change colors, this and that. Again, watch the tutorial on exactly how to do it. It's not that hard. You just have to play around with it a little bit. Now, that was the free option, doing it yourself. But if it's too much work or if you just don't want to deal with it, you can outsource the book cover design process, and it's actually a lot cheaper than you think. So you can go to Fiverr and hire people for $5 to $20, at the cheapest. Obviously, you can pay more for higher quality, but if you're just getting started, I think this is a pretty good price range. So if you want to learn how to do that, if you want the best budget Fiverr book cover designers that I personally use many times, then this video will cover that. So again, the link is in the description. The biggest thing I want to say here is that we're not trying to be perfect, right? We just want to start. Your first book will always suck. Like, there's no avoiding that. So you want to just improve as you go. Like, your first book is going to be bad, but the thing is, you can update books anytime. Like, after you publish it, you can go back and improve it even more. Or you can just make your book number 2 better, book number 3 better, right? And keep improving from there. But what I don't want you to do is to take so long in getting your book out just because you want everything to be perfect. Like, how many times have you heard of someone tell you that, oh, I'm writing on a book for 20 years or something? Like, they're so proud of the fact that it's taken them 20 years to write a book and it's not even published yet. Like, of course, you don't want to just whip something out, that's poor quality, right? You want to make sure that it's good, but you also don't have to take 20 years to write a book. So if it's taken you years to create your first digital product or, to write your first book, it's most likely not because you care for the quality of the book, but it's more so because you're scared. You're scared of actually getting your product out there. Like, in this case, it's a book, but maybe if you're doing other digital products, then it's something else, right? You're scared of getting your product out there for the potential of being judged. People telling you that it's not good. People telling you that they don't like it. So maybe you're afraid of that. Or maybe you're just honestly lazy, right? And you're saying, oh, my product has to be perfect before I get it out, as an excuse to not take action. So just don't do that. Understand that good enough is good enough. Just make a book, publish it, and improve as you go. So once your book is made, now you have to upload the book. So where should you sell your books on? Again, as I mentioned a couple times throughout this video, most people will tell you to sell on your own website, like your Gumroad store, your WordPress store, your Stan store, right? And I personally think these are the worst places to sell your books on. You can sell here on those sites if you want to, right? If you really want to, you can, but it's way less beginner friendly, because by selling on your own website, you gotta do the website building. You got to do the customer service. You got to set up the payment processing. You have to do the charging of the payment, the refund, processing if they ask, right? The delivery of the payment, like pretty much everything, because you're selling on your own website. Just understand, more control means more work. And for beginners, we don't want more work. We want to keep it simple, right? So we can start making money. So for that reason, I think the best place to sell your book is Amazon. Another reason is because Payhip, Gumroad, selling on your own website, they got absolutely no traffic unless you send traffic to there. Again, Amazon has 70 to 80% of all US book sales happening there. People are literally going to Amazon every single day looking for books to buy. People are conditioned to buy books on Amazon. I'm sure most of you agree with this, right? Most of you probably buy books only on Amazon. So it just makes no sense to not sell on Amazon, because you're literally losing out on like 80% of all sales that you can make. And you can still list on Payhip, Gumroad, your own website, later if you want to, but maybe start with Amazon, right? And later expand on those sites. Another statistic here is that nearly 40% of money spent online, meaning when people buy things online, 40% is on Amazon, okay? And the second closest is Walmart at 6%. It's like, it's not even close. So again, Amazon is that big, that crazy, it makes that much money, and it just makes no sense for people to avoid Amazon. But here's the great news. It's completely free to sell your books on Amazon. There's no sign-up fees, no monthly fee, nothing. You just pay a small cut once you make a sale, in exchange for Amazon doing everything for you. Amazon will handle, selling on the website. So you don't have to create a website because you just sell on Amazon, right? They have millions of shoppers every single day. They do the customer service. They do the refund, right? They do the shipping and handling. They do everything for you that you normally have to do if you sell on your own website. That's why I say this is very beginner friendly. But this entire business model is called Amazon KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. So this is how you get started. You just go to amazonkdp.com, right? Just Google it and you just create an account. It looks like this. And you just enter your bank and tax details, basically the normal sign-up process that you go through in pretty much any other site. And then once you have your account open, then you want to go and upload the book. Now, I do have a step-by-step tutorial on how this works in terms of the upload process. So go and watch this video. Again, the link is in the description. Follow it. And once your book is uploaded, it goes through a review process. So KDP will review it and approve it within 24 to 72 hours. So after 24 to 72 hours, your book will be approved and live on Amazon, and it'll be selling on Amazon, and you will officially become a published author, which I think is pretty cool. So once your book is published and live on Amazon, the next thing we got to talk about is marketing. So Amazon, as I said, is huge, and you have millions of people shopping on Amazon looking for products to buy. So if you just want to make your first sale online, you can pretty much just publish and pray. Like, we call it publish and pray because you upload and do nothing, and you just pray that Amazon will sell your book. And even with that strategy, there's a pretty good chance you'll make a sale. Like, I cannot guarantee anything, but that's kind of the case with this. Amazon is that big. It's kind of crazy, okay? But if you want to make a lot of sales, because yes, you can make a sale here, a sale there, but those are just a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, right? You're not going to make life-changing income where you can potentially quit your 9-to-5 job and go all in, go full-time in this, right? Like, if you want to make a lot of sales like that, then you do want to supplement Amazon traffic with your own marketing. So when it comes to marketing, you have two options. Number one is social media marketing. This is a free way of doing things. Number two is running ads. This is a paid way. Now, I forgot to mention this, but the good thing about this business is there's always the free way if you want to do everything free, and the paid way of doing it if you want to speed up the time. You're always paying with time or money, right? Like, if you don't have a lot of time, then you can do the paid way. Outsource all the book creation process, all the marketing process, and you can go that route. But if you want to save money and you're willing to sacrifice time, spend more time, then you can do things free. And this is completely up to you. So with social media marketing, you want to start mentioning your book everywhere and link to your product. You want to start with TikTok and Instagram because that's the two biggest platform, the most effective platform, and essentially just showcase your book as much as possible. So this is what I mean. This is a TikTok page. They have these journals, right? And they just order their book and they just showcase it. Not even showing their face, nothing. Just showing the book interior, how it looks, and they just link into the product. You can just say, hey, my book is available on Amazon. Go check it out. That's all you're doing. And this is the most effective type of video you can make. And the good news is it's the most simple type of video. And it's also the most effective, so it works out. Some YouTube channels will tell you that, oh, again, you got to build a website or you have to, build your email list, right? And yes, those are effective long-term strategies, but it's not a good short-term strategy. And when people recommend you to build an email list if you're a complete beginner, that's because they're trying to get affiliate commissions for promoting an email marketing software, right? So you definitely don't have to do that. You just have to go and start posting on social media. Now, if you want to run ads, then do Amazon ads. You can do Facebook ads too, but usually with these other platforms, the ads are more expensive. So I do recommend Amazon ads. It's by far the most effective and cheapest. You can start with as low as $3 a day. Only increase the budget if you're profiting. And once you learn it, it's simpler than you think. I get that you're kind of overwhelmed when you hear ads and you're like, oh my God, it's so complicated. I get it. And yes, maybe in the beginning it's a little confusing, but once you actually do it, then it's just like with anything, right? You learn how you do it and it gets pretty simple after that. The good news is I have a step-by-step tutorial on this again, so the link is in the description. So as you get more sales, your book will start achieving a lower BSR, right? Your book also has a bestsellers rank and it's going to get lower and lower and lower. And Amazon will see that and it'll push your book higher and higher on page 1, which is where most of the sales are happening. And as you get higher on page 1, you'll obviously make more organic sales too. And soon you'll be making multiple sales while you sleep. So the last thing I want to show you here is this is how you check if you've made any sales or not. Okay, so go to your KDP dashboard, click on reports, and if you made any sales, then it's going to show up here. So this is my second account. As I mentioned earlier, I sold the first one after making a good amount of money from it, and now I'm building this one. So that was the entire overview of the process from topic research to creating the book to marketing. But now I want to show you what is possible because we just touched on a very small part of this entire business. Like, you can do so much more than what we talked about. So I want to quickly show you what's possible. What are the scaling strategies to make more money? Scaling method number 1 is to turn that book into a paperback. You actually make more money as a paperback. And good news is it's still kind of like digital products because you're selling it as a print on demand model, which means Amazon prints it and ship it only once you make a sale. So you have no inventory. And besides, Amazon does all of that for you, so you don't even have to deal with it. So again, it's kind of like dealing with digital products. But anyways, turning your book into a physical product, super simple process. You just format the interior and book cover to a paperback version. And there are Fiverr gigs that'll do this conversion, right, from ebook cover to the paperback cover. As you can see, that has a spine and the back cover here. They will do that for $5. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave some gigs like this one in the description. But that's scaling method number 1. Number 2 is to turn that book into an audiobook. Audiobook also very, very profitable. I made a lot of money from audiobooks. I have a step-by-step tutorial on how to do that, so you can check out this video in the description below. But specifically, audiobooks is going through an exponential growth. right now, as we probably know, right? A lot of people are switching over to audiobooks. So right now we're in 2025 and it's projected to triple in size in terms of the audiobook market size by 2030. So in 5 years. I personally sold over 100,000 audiobooks. I've sold way more than this actually at this point because this is an old screenshot. But each audiobooks, you make on average $3.4, at least for me, right? With the length that I'm publishing. So 3.4 bucks times 100,000, you know, around how much I made from that. Pretty confident I've done over $400,000 in royalties just from audiobooks at this point. And we can confirm how profitable audiobooks are just by going to Audible. So instead of searching the books on Amazon, you can search on Audible. And since I have the BookBeam plugin here, right, it tells me how much these audiobooks are making in royalties. So again, in the decluttering topic, you know, not just the paperback, which was profitable as well, but we have the audiobook, $223 per day, right? This one, again, $6,000 per day from the audiobook alone, not even counting the ebook, not even counting the paperback. This book is doing $99 per day, just 28 reviews. So you can see that the audiobook market very profitable as well. All right, scaling method number 3 is to translate your book into other languages. So as an example, you can do Spanish, German, French, Italian, many different languages. This book that you see on the screen originally was an English book making $100 per day in royalties, but just by translating it into Spanish, it's making an additional $49 per day. Because Amazon is not just in the US, it's open in many other countries, right? And a lot of other countries, people shop from Amazon, and it continues to expand even more from here. So by translating your book, you're tapping into a whole new audience. And again, you can do more than just Spanish, right? You can do German, French, Italian. From my personal experience, all of those are profitable. So as always, if you want a step-by-step tutorial on how to tap into translations, I have a video on that. I'll leave a link in the description below. Scaling method number 4 is to create bundles. So bundles is essentially when you put 2 books or more together and sell it as a compilation book or a box set like this, basically like this. A lot of successful authors are doing this. As an example, we have Sarah J. Maas has a 8-book bundle of her Throne of Glass ebook series, right? So that is why she can sell her book at a literal $68 price point. This discount is something that Amazon does. She doesn't control this. So she's listing it at $68, getting royalties for a $68 price, and her paperback is $120. Like imagine the royalties that she makes for each sale. If you're selling it at $120 or $68, that is a lot, right? And you can do this because it is a 8-book bundle and customers still buy it because it's a good deal for them. Like they're getting 8 books in one. Harry Potter over here, same thing. The complete collection, 7 books bundle, it is selling at $86. So we are dealing with low ticket products, right? Creating books. But if you tap into bundles, now it's not so low ticket anymore. It is a pretty good price, and how much you make per sale becomes pretty significant as well. Scaling method number 5 is to upload your books to other stores. So Amazon is by far the biggest bookstore, but it's not the only one. As I said earlier, 70 to 80% of all book sales in the US happens from Amazon. But what about the other 20 to 30%, right? So we're trying to tap into those other areas as well. So you can upload your books to other sites such as Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark will send your book to over 40,000 different stores if you upload through them. So they will go to independent bookstores, online stores, chain stores, even ebook retailers, libraries, and sometimes even universities, right? So you can tap into a lot more audience over here in a huge network of distribution. And this is how I've made an extra $20,000 a year just from this one income stream, right? Not even counting the other income stream that we have. The second place you can upload your book outside of Amazon is Google Play. Google Play also has a bookstore, so you can do that over there. Next one is Drafted Digital. Drafted Digital also will send your book to a lot of other places like Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Kobo Script, Smashwords, and much, much more if you upload through them. Next one is Findaway Voices. You can upload your audiobooks to Findaway Voices and they will send it to Spotify, Google, Audible, Chirp, Apple, and more. So this is a audiobook version of distributing your book to many other stores. And just from Findaway Voices for my first account before I sold it, I was making an extra $1,000 per month just from this one small income stream, which is kind of crazy. So scaling method number 6 is to sell your account, right? So I sold my first account for $820,000 after making multiple 6 figures a year for a couple years. So I was generating royalties. I decided to sell it. To be completely honest, I don't know if I would sell my second account at the moment because I kind of enjoy the cash flow more than just upfront income. I didn't know this back then, right? I was less experienced in business. So I thought the upfront cash was nicer than the monthly cash flow that you get, but this is completely personal preference. Like, just like real estate, right? Some people enjoy the cash flow that they get every month. Some people want to sell it and just get over with it. So I sold the first one, the second one we'll see, but this is something you can also do. As an example, I'll show you Amazon KDP businesses that are on sale right now. So there's a website called Empire Flippers, which is the same website I sold my KDP account on. But these are some KDP accounts, essentially portfolio books that are being sold right now. So this one is making $23,000 per month in net profit, and it's listed for $874,000. So if you're making $23K a month net profit, you can sell it for this much, right? Pretty good. This one is $25,000 per month and it's selling for $741,000. This business right here is making a profit of $4,600 and it's selling for $178,000. And this is the smallest one, but this business right here is making a monthly net profit of $1,110. So this is very small. Like $1,000 per month net profit, a lot of people can achieve this. And yet, if you can make $1,000 per month net profit, technically, it's possible to sell your business for $42,000. Isn't that crazy? Like, build up your business to make $1,000 per month, and all of a sudden you can flip it for $42,000. So there are actually a lot more strategies that you can take, more than what I've showed you in this video. But I think at this point, you have a pretty good idea of what is possible and the potential of this business. So what's next? You made it this far into the video. What's the next step for you? Well, obviously the next step is to go and take action, start implementing the strategies that you learned in this video, watch my other videos, and start actually doing the work. The biggest thing, as I said earlier, is that I don't want you to be a perfectionist here, right? Just start and get one book out there. What this will do is you essentially will break the mental barrier that you probably have at the moment of, oh my God, writing a book is such a huge deal. You might be thinking it's very hard to be a published author, right? So you have this mental barrier. But if you go and publish one book, then you will shatter this belief because you've done it, right? And it was a lot easier and a lot simpler than you thought, right? So now you're a published author. And once you make a sale on the book, you shatter another belief, which is making money online is hard because you've done it. You made a sale, you made some money online. And then from there, it's just a matter of improving your craft, right? Improving the business, publishing more books, publishing better quality books, right? And just getting better at this business and this skill set. And as you do so, you'll make more and more money. Now, as you move forward and start taking action in this business, if you do want more hands-on help, if you want a step-by-step game plan that you can follow, and if you want a coach that you can ask and have the coach check your topic, check your book, make sure that it's good before you actually publishes so you're not making a ton of mistakes, right? If you want that sort of support, then I do have a complete Amazon KDP mentorship program. It's the first link in the description. Once you click it, it'll take you to a page like this. You can watch the video, learn more about it, and then you can apply for a free strategy call. It's basically a free 30-minute call with one of our coaches to see if this program is a good fit for you. Obviously, this is a paid program, so it will cost some money, but if you want to shortcut the process, right? Because again, just like with anything, if you want to figure things out yourself, spend a lot of time learning, then you'll save some money, but you're gonna sacrifice a lot of time. If you want to shortcut the process, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money to save a lot of time, then this could be a good option for you. If you want to hear feedback about the program from real customers, right? Someone who's actually gone through the program, you can just look us up on Trustpilot. Our program name is Royalty Hero, so just look us up on Trustpilot, and you will see that at the time of filming, we have a 4.9 average rating out of 474 reviews, which I think is pretty damn good. Like, I don't know any other business that has this ratio with this many reviews, right? So I think we're doing a pretty good job and we're still trying to improve even more from here. Now, if joining the complete mentorship program is a little too big of a step for you, then we do have a smaller product called the 7-Day Book Challenge. So the 7-Day Book Challenge essentially walks you through step by step basically everything we talked about today, but more in detail. So, taking you from brainstorming the topic to writing it, to formatting the book cover design, publishing it on Amazon. It's basically what we talked about today, but again, more in detail, and it is done over the course of 7 days. So if you just want to learn how to publish your book on Amazon, and if you want a little bit more detailed lessons, then this is a good challenge for you. So the link to this challenge is also in the description below. If this video was helpful to you, then it would mean a lot if you can leave a like and subscribe, because making these videos takes a crap ton of time. I also want to hear from you. So if you made it until the end, then I want you to comment "made it until the end," and I'll try and respond to as many comments as possible. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.